Hey guys, welcome to the SimRacingPaddock. I'm William Marsh, and in this video we are talking about virtual reality. Namely, I want to address the question, can virtual reality make you a better driver? This is a question I've been getting quite a bit from people, and I wanted to share my thoughts on. To test this out, I decided to fire up R-Factor 2 and take the Nissan GT-R GT500 race car around Natsuzuka, aka Matsusaka. I decided to run 5 laps around the track, one time on a single monitor display and then one with the Oculus Rift CV1 headset. The results turned out rather interesting. For this testing session, I made sure the conditions were identical and I ran similar to warm up the car. I'd run the out lap, 1 lap to warm the tires, and then 5 laps to generate an average. On paper, the results seem to be rather interesting. The two averages are split by 0.2 of a second, with the single monitor gaining the edge. However, once you dive deeper in, things get rather interesting. While the monitor's average was a hair faster, the times tended to be more erratic, and the virtual reality headset lap times were far more consistent. Approximately 0.7 of a second separated the fastest time to the slowest while using the headset, while the fastest and slowest times with the monitor were separated by 2.2 seconds. With the monitor, I had a couple laps in the 1 minute 56 second range, but I also had a couple moments where I fell down to the 158s. With the virtual reality headset on, I only had 1 lap outside of the 157 bracket, and I felt far more comfortable driving with the VR headset as well. With the lap time calculation being relatively inconclusive, I thought it would be a better idea to instead focus on how it felt driving with VR versus driving with a monitor. I think that while I was a hair faster with the single screen, I felt slightly more comfortable with the virtual reality headset, and I believe that is due to a few different factors. Firstly, virtual reality gives you an increased sense of depth perception. This plays a huge role in the virtual reality experience and does a great job of simulating seeing the world in 3 dimensions. When you're using a monitor, you're only viewing the virtual world through one focal point, essentially making it equivalent to driving with one eye open. When you add a second focal point in, that allows you to combine those 2 points to be able to see objects in 3D. It's a great benefit that I think tends to be understated when talking about virtual reality. Another benefit for VR is that you have true spatial awareness and the world is properly scaled around you. As sim racers, our goal is to have a 1-to-1 immersion factor. While monitors work great, especially triples, it can be tough setting up a proper field of view to properly size up the world around you. With virtual reality, that is something you don't really have to worry about. Assuming you have your headset properly calibrated and configured, you won't have to worry about fine-tuning your field of view or configuring the triple screens to be just right. You can just get in and drive, and it will feel believable. You even get to see so much more of the car than you would with a single or triple monitor setup. The added spatial awareness is a major benefit as well to giving more confidence to be able to use more of the track, which is something you want to do while driving. I also believe the spatial awareness works great with the head tracking to provide an authentic experience. As mentioned previously, we're going for the 1-to-1 interaction with the environment around you, and the Oculus Rift has some of the best head tracking I have ever used. It truly does make you feel like you're inside the car and allows you to get an idea on what the car is doing and where the car is going. The last thing I want to focus on is the headset's increased refresh rate to be able to make me more comfortable with hitting my marks. It's somewhat tough to describe, but when I'm driving with virtual reality, things almost feel slower, but in a good way. My theory is that the higher refresh rate gives you more frames as a margin of error. Think of it this way. If you're driving at 180 miles per hour, you are traveling at about 264 feet per second. If you are using a standard 60 Hz display, you are seeing approximately 4.4 feet per frame. If you are using a 90Hz display like in the Oculus Rift, you are seeing 2.93 feet per frame. That might not seem like much, but I believe it did make a difference in the way I drive. I felt like I was hitting my marks more consistently, and I felt like I was driving more smoothly. I believe the more erratic lap times in the single monitor were partly because I was using a 60Hz display, and that led to me kind of missing my marks compared to when I was driving in virtual reality. So, in my opinion, using virtual reality is similar to using a higher end wheel or pedal set. It is not going to magically give you super driving abilities, but if you have a decent fundamental understanding of how to drive, then this will definitely help augment your abilities as a racer. It allows you to further immerse yourself in the experience, and that can pay solid dividends to your driving. Virtual reality definitely isn't perfect, and it's still fairly early tech. The issues are still there, like the lower resolution, higher hardware requirements, possibility for motion sickness, etc. However, I think that under the right circumstances, it can definitely help improve your driving and make you into a better sim racer. So these are just some of my thoughts on virtual reality and how it can help improve your skills as a sim racer. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think that virtual reality does help pair you with a better skill set to make you a better sim racer? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you like this video, please hit that like and subscribe button down below and help keep us on track. For the Sim Racing Paddock, I'm William Marsh, and you have a great rest of your day.